some n number of components, n number of objects of same type. Generally we use array of bulbs. Array of bulbs is there. మనం ఫంక్షన్స్ చేసుకుంటాం కదా, ఆ బల్బ్స్ ఉంటాయి చూడండి. వాట్ వి కాల్ దట్ వన్? array of bulbs అంటామా? Okay, same category of bulbs, okay, in many numbers. Okay, so for example, if I want to work with a single integer, I will declare int a, right? Int a. If I want to work with 10 integers, I must declare some int a, int b, int c, int d, or int a1, a2, a3, a4, like that. Or for example, if I want to work with 100 integers or 1000 integers, we can't declare like that, a1, a2, a3, a99, like that. Okay, so what's the solution for this problem? I want to work with the same data type in n numbers, huge numbers, 10 integers, 100 integers, or 1000 integers, or 10,000 integers. I want to process something with the help of integers, 1000 integers, or 1000 float values, or 1000 characters, or 1000 double values, or log double values. What's the solution for this? We'll take the help of arrays, right? We'll take the help of arrays. We can't go on writing a statement that, okay, int a1, int a2, int a3, int 99, int 100, int 1000, like that. Okay, for this problem the solution is that arrays concepts. Okay, first note down this one diagram. Every time you note down this diagram. In previous session also I told you to note down this diagram. This derived types. Under this derived types we have function type, array type. This diagram, note down this diagram. This is the complete C language, the main features of C language. Only 1, 2, 3, 6 are there, that's it. The main features of C programming language, only 6 are there. Derived types, the categorization, function type, array type, pointer type, structure type, union type, and last one is enumerated type. Enumerated, E-N-U-M-E-R-A-T-E-D, enumerated type. This diagram says the complete picture of C language, the main features of C programming language. Actually, we must learn functions in the beginning, but as per syllabus, I think 15 it is related to functions, because all the remaining topics must have they use the functions at some point of time. Okay, as per syllabus, function type is the 5th unit, but we must learn in the beginning itself, because what are the remaining topics are there, remaining features are there, in those we use the functions. Just note down the diagram. And next note down the definition. Heading is arrays in C. Of elements of same data type. We can work with 1000 integers, we can work with 1000 float values, double values, long double values, or a number of characters. Elements of the same data type stored in contiguous memory locations. And these elements, the array elements, can be accessed. Next, will access the elements of an array. Finish? Now, what do you mean by contiguous allocation, memory allocation? Contiguous, continuous memory allocation. For example, if A is there, int A, int A, int B. Okay, two variables declared, int A, int B. So how the memory is allocated? Okay, randomly the memory is allocated. For example, A's address is 1000, B's address is, for example, 1500, something like that. Address, memory address. Right? Two variables we have declared, int A, int B. And A's address is 1000, memory address. Okay? What do you mean by address? Whatever the programming statement we write, whatever the object, whatever the component, whatever we have, everything must be memory must be allocated to each and everything. Right? A's address is 1000 and B's address is 1500. And A and B are of the same program, related to same program, still related to same program, but the memory allocation is different. For example, it may be continuous elements, continuous memory also, it may be different memory allocations also. Okay, 1000 and 1500, different memory allocations. But when it comes to array, okay, how the memory is allocated? The memory allocation is continuous. The memory allocation is continuous. For example, 1000, 1004, 1008, 1012, 1016, 1020, 1024, like that. Right? Whenever we declare an array, the memory must be continuously allocated. Continuous addresses must be allocated. So why can't we have 1000, 1001, 1002, 1003? We are saying continuous memory allocation, but the numbers are, the addresses are 1000, 1004, 1008, 1012, 1016, 1020 are there. 4 differences there. Why? 4 differences there. Why? For example, integer, right? It is an integer. Integer data type means for each and every integer, 4 bytes of memory must be allocated. 4 bytes of memory. That's why first element is address is 1000. Next one 1000 plus 4, that is 1004. 1004 plus 4, 1008. Okay, plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. All are continuous memory allocations, right? Okay. And we used to say that, for example, int A of 10. This is declaration. Int A of 10. Integer is a data type and A is the array name of the array, and 10 is the size of the array. 10 is the size of the array. Okay. This is the memory allocation, right? Oh. And how to access this one? What we call A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, like that. A of, for example, last one is 9. Okay, assume 9. Okay. How to access the members? What we call member 1, member 2, member 3 of an array. How to access the members of an array? By using index. By using index. Right? And index always starts with 0. Remember that one. Index always starts with 0, not the 1, not the number 1. Array index always starts with the 0. For example, if the size is 10 means what is that maximum number? Index number. 0 to 9. The maximum index is that 9. For example, if the array size is 100, array size is 100 means the index is from 0 to 99. 0 to 99. The first element is stored at A of 0. Second element is stored at A of 1. Third element is stored at A of 2. And addresses are continuous. Remember that one. Array addresses are continuous, right? 1000 plus 4, 1004. 1004 plus 4, 8. 8 plus 4, 12, 16, like that, right? Okay. And when it comes to character, what is that memory allocation for a character type? Character. 1 byte. Okay, character is 1 byte. So what is that operator we can use? By knowing that how much memory is allocated for a data type, size of operator. In previous session, okay, I have said this size of operator. By using size of operator, we will be knowing how much memory is allocated to each and every data type. Just declare a variable and write the printf statement. Gurtunda? Okay, just declare a variable. For example, int a float b and write the printf statement, right? Printf size of a, that's it. Then write the same thing for size of b. It will display the memory in bytes, right? Simple program. Just declare all variables of all data types and write the printf statement for all the variables. If A, B, C, D is there, size of A, size of B, size of C, like that, okay? All are small letters, size of in that. Don't waste time, make it fast. Just only the definition, underline statements. Don't write all content. There are two types of arrays, fixed length array and variable length array. Fixed length array and variable length array. Two types of arrays we can declare. C provides two different types of arrays, that is fixed length array and variable length array. In a fixed length array, the size of the array is known when the program is written. In the beginning itself, we know that, okay, I want to work with 10 integers. I want to work with 10 float values or 100 float values. Then declare it. Give the number. Give the size of the array. Provide the size of the array. If it is not known, then go with variable length array. If you do not know how many elements I want to work with, then in that case, declare it as variable length array. Note down only the underlined statements. Don't write all statements. Just definition, syntax. Finish. And the syntax is type space name of the array in square brackets. Square brackets array size. Type name of the array in square brackets array size. Finish. Shall I move? For example, just note down this example. The first statement is fixed length and the second statement is variable length. Just note down the example, these two. Int a of 100 and int b of nothing, empty. The first array name is a of type integer and the size is 100 integers. 100 integers. And the second one int b without mentioning the size. That means for the first statement the memory is allocated in the beginning itself, before execution. For the first statement the memory is allocated in the beginning itself. For the second statement the memory is allocated at runtime, execution time. Okay. For the second statement, that is for the array B, the memory is allocated at the time of execution. Okay, we can provide one array, one integer, or we can type 10 integers, we can provide 100 integers at the time of execution. So for this, how much memory is allocated for A? The memory allocation for the array A, 100 integers, 100 into integer type. For each integer 4 bytes, right? For each integer 4 bytes. Total 100 integers. 100 into 4, 400 bytes. 400 bytes of memories will be allocated, right? Okay. And these are the example. Just note down this example. Another example. Just note down the first example. Int scores of 10. The array name is scores of type. Array type is integer. Array type is integer. Array size is 10. And all these 0, 1, 2, 3 are indexes. Right? Array index starts with 0. The maximum index is size minus 1, n minus 1. Just only the first one. Finish? Just 10 boxes with indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Heading, accessing elements in an array. C uses the same statement. Small side heading, accessing elements in an array. C uses an index to access individual elements in an array. For example, scores of 0 That is the first element. 0 index means first element. Note down only the underlined statements, right? Next one, storing values. Okay. Storing values in an array. Oh, wait a second. Just note down this one. Storing values in an array. How many ways we can store the values in an array? Just like variable. For a variable, we can initialize a variable, or we can assign values to a variable, or we can read from the keyboard. Same as variable, normal variable. Next heading, storing values in an array. Right from this point. If we want to store values in an array, we must either initialize the elements, read values from the keyboard, or assign value. Same as normal variable. What we can do with normal variable? We can initialize a normal variable, or we can assign some value to the normal variable, and we can read the value from the keyboard for a given variable. 3 ways. Same for arrays also. Same for all other types also. For all features, same procedure. How to store the value, then how to produce the value. Finish? For any program, what is that procedure, general procedure? Listen. Whenever we talk about programming or program, what is that procedure, normal procedure? For any programming, or for any programming language, what is that procedure? Whenever we think of a program, this, what are they? Store the value. First of all, store the value. Then after storing, process the values. Process the values. Then after processing, display the value, again store the values, again store it in permanent storage device. Okay, that means whenever we write a program, we must think about these 3 steps: storing, processing, and displaying, right? Note down this basic initialization. Just note down this first one only. Example. Int numbers of 5 equal to the curly brackets, between curly brackets 1, 2, like that. Initialization. Just note the first one, enough. Int numbers of 5, array size is 5, and we are initializing all 5 values to the array. We are providing numbers between curly brackets, and at the end semicolon is there. This is semicolon. Finish. Right? What is the second example? Don't note down, please. See this. Int numbers of without size. This is variable length array. If I want to initialize variable length array, you can provide any numbers also, right? You can give one value, 3 values, or 10 values, or 100 values. Okay. Here we did not mention the size. There is no mentioning of size. Then what about this third example? Partial initialization. What do you mean by partial initialization? Okay, the array size is 5. The array size is 5. In the zoom, దీంట్లో zoom option లేదు. దీంట్లో zoom option లేదు మేడం. Previous దాంట్లో ఉండే Adobe Reader. Listen, array size is 5. In the beginning, we know only the 2 values. Only 2 values are available, for example. Just initialize those 2 values, first 2 values. And the remaining memory locations are filled with zeros by default. Okay, by default. And what about this fourth example? Int lots of number, array size is 1000 is there. I want to fill those 1000 locations, memory locations with 0. Okay, in the beginning, initialization. Initially, I want to fill this 1000 locations with a 0. Just write, okay, bracket open, okay, 0 and semicolon. That's it, finish. Okay, this is about initialization. Next one, inputting values. Another way to fill the array is to read the values from the keyboard or a file. This method of inputting values can be done using loop. For a normal variable, just we can write scanf statement. Scanf %d ampersand a, address of a. But when it comes to array, we'll take the help of loops, because array size can be 110 or 50 or 100 or 1000. For I0, I less than 10, I plus plus, scanf %d, address of scores of I. Address of scores of I. How to store the values in an array? Just take the help, we'll take the help of loop, for loop. This is the combination, remember this combination, for loop and scanf statement. For normal variable, just scanf statement. For a normal regular variable, no need of loop. For an array, we must have a loop. Continuously, we must read the values from the keyboard, right? Due to that reason, we need a loop. It will continuously ask for input from the keyboard. And next one, assigning values. How to assign the values? We can assign values to individual elements using assignment operator. We can assign values to individual elements using the assignment operator, just like normal variable also. Value 23 is assigned to scores of 4. Only the particular element, specific element. Out of many elements of an array, we can assign a particular value for a particular location, not all. Assigned to scores of 4. Scores of 4 means fifth element, right? Okay. Don't confuse with this number. 4 and 4 size anukokandi. At the time of declaration, it is a size. It is a size. Other places it is act as a index. Index 4 means fifth element. 0 means first element. 0 means first element, 1 means second element, 4 means fifth element. And what is the second example? Can anyone? For I0, I less than 25, I plus plus. First of I, assignment statement. How to read assignment statement? Left side to right side or right side to left side? Assignment. Assignment statement from right side to left side. First of I is assigned to second of I. Right? So what we are doing with this? Can anyone? Spits. Okay. What with this statement, what we are doing? First of I is assigned to second of I. Means two arrays are there, first array and second array. For I0, Telugu Telugulo అప్పుడప్పుడు తెలుగు వాడతాం. What is the purpose of this statement? Okay. First of I is assigned to second of I. First I value 0. First of 0 is assigned to second of 0. This is first of 0 index, right? Index 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. With these statements, whatever the elements of first array is there, all those are copying from first to second, right? Okay, 5 is copied to at this place. Next one, index 1, 10 is copied to like 15 is copied to 15 like that. Okay. All the 25 elements of first array will be copied to into the second element. Okay. And next one, inter-function communication. Heading. Okay, this is about interfunction communication. Interfunction communication means when we have two functions are there and there is a communication. Communication is nothing but data passing, right? Data transfer or data passing from one function to another function. In system, whenever we talk about communication, is nothing but it is just like a data passing or data sharing from one place to another place, one function to another function, one component to another component. Data transfer. Interfunction communication. Communication between any two functions. Remember that one, communication is nothing but just data transfer. Sending data from one function to another function or receiving data from one function to another function. Passing data values, we can pass data values, that is individual array elements. We can pass individual elements of an array or we can pass all the elements of an array. We can pass any particular element or we can pass from one place to another place, one function to another function. Finish? Diagram is important when we compare with theory, right? We can easily understand. Note down this diagram. Just simple statement, not all details. Int a and function of a and int array of, this is a regular variable, int a and function of a. The other side is that this is about arrays. Int array of 10 and function of array of 3, right? Here it is a normal regular variable a and we are passing a from this function to this function. Note down the arrow also. With that we can understand easily. That arrow is important. That means we are passing data from this place to this function to this function. And it is called calling function. Just note down this, calling and this is called called function. Note down the arrows also. How to pass a normal variable, how to pass an array variable, right? Inside a function. Passing values. This is normal variable, this is array variable, right? Int a, some function, function of a. Int array of 10, actual size is 10, but I am passing here function array of 3. 3 means fourth element, right? Index 3 means fourth element. I am passing the fourth element of an array from this place to this place. Here x, we have x is there. Okay, that means the fourth element is passed to x, right? The variable x. The value of a is passed to x. The value of a is passed to x. When it comes to normal variable, when it comes to array variable, index 3 means fourth element. I am passing the fourth element. I am passing the fourth element to x. Right? Once this function receives the data, it will process that information. Some processing statements, right? Some processing, some calculation. Okay? Once this function receives the data from this place or from this place, after receiving, this function will do something, will perform something, some calculations, some processing, right? That means this function is taking the help of this function. This function is taking the help of this function. Communication. Communication between this place and this place, this module and this module, or communication between this module and this module, right? They are communicating. Communicating is nothing but sending or receiving data, right? So what we call this one technically, just note on this, calling function. It is called calling function. It is called called function. Remember, called function is nothing but implementation of the function. Implementation of the function or definition of the function, the complete definition of the function, right? Next one, passing address. The previous topic is passing values. Now we can pass the address also. Passing the addresses. We can pass the address of an individual element in an array, just like we can pass the address of the variable. Int a at some point of time, function of ampersand a, this is address of a, inside bracket malli rastanu, function of ampersand a. This is function of ampersand array of 3. And here it is int star a, int star xx, void function int star x. Int a, function of ampersand a, ampersand means address of a. We can pass the value or we can pass the address of the variable. We can pass the value of an variable or we can pass the address of a variable. Two ways, two-way communication. Int a and second statement, function of ampersand a. Int array of 10, function of ampersand array of 3. Array of 3 means fourth element, index 3 means fourth element. And here void function in bracket int star x. Here the star means pointer. That is the next topic, right? Next chapter, pointer. Int star space x. And some statements, some processing statements, right? Once this called function receives the data or address, it starts processing. Remember, star means pointer, okay? Here in this example, we are passing the address of A to X. Address of A to X. Here we are passing the address of the fourth element. Fourth element of an array. Address of A, passing address of A to X. Passing the address of fourth element to X. Once we receive the data at this place, we'll start processing. Processing is done at this location, That means this function is helping this function. This function is helping this function. Finish? So, what is the difference between a normal variable and pointer variable? I'll give small example. Okay, just understand. Try to understand. Okay, listen. What is the difference between a normal variable and pointer variable? Okay. First statement is a normal variable. Listen. Int A, normal variable. A is a normal regular variable. Whereas second statement, int star B, B is a pointer variable. So what is the role of A and what is the role of B? For example, A is a normal variable which holds the value, Where is a pointer? Always remember, pointer means related to address, pointer means it deals with address. Okay, that means this pointer variable holds the address. Normal variable holds the value, whereas the pointer variable holds the address. Simple, that's it. Okay, just note down this example. Make it fast. Normal variable, we can store the value. A pointer variable, we can store the address. That's the difference between a variable holds the value, a pointer variable holds the address. Address of some variable. Int A, just write example, int A, and next one is semicolon, int A semicolon, always semicolon, int star B. A is a normal variable, B is a pointer variable. Just note down this diagram also. A which holds the value, B holds the address. Pointer means address, remember that point. And then a pointer, whenever we talk about pointer, it is related to address, that's it. Variable, A address, some address. Okay. For example, A's address is 1000 anukondi. The variable A's address is 1000. What this B is doing? Now you tell me, just small change. A, variable A, its value is 5 and A's address is 1000. A's address is 1000. And B holds some address. What is it one? 1000. Whose address? A's address. Right? B is holding the address of A, variable A. That means logically we used to say that B is pointing to A అని చెప్తాం జనరల్గా. ఓకేనా? B is holding the address of A. Logically we can say B is pointing to A, right? Next, two-dimensional array. Okay, make it fast, don't waste time. The previous one is we can say a normal regular array, one dimensional array. Next one, two dimensional array. Next one, three dimensional array, four dimension. In practical it is very complex when we talk about fourth dimension. Generally we used to work with up to three dimensions: one dimension, two dimension, three dimension. C looks at in a different way. It looks the two-dimensional array as an array of arrays. Two-dimensional array is nothing but array of arrays. Here S is there. Array of arrays. What is two-dimensional array? It is an just an array of arrays. That is perfect definition. Or we can say array of one-dimensional array. The best example is the table. Example for two-dimensional array is that table. Table contains rows and columns. Just draw this table. Just box. These are called rows, and the first dimension. First dimension is called rows. Remember that one. Second dimension is called columns. First dimension, name of the first dimension, rows. Name of the second dimension, columns. And remember logic, simple logic. For every topic, these issues are common. That is inputting values or assigning values and storing values, displaying values, outputting values. Inputting, assignment, outputting. Common for all topics. How to store the value, how to assign the value, how to display the value. For every programming language. Finish? First dimension, its name is row. Second dimension, its name is columns. Same thing. how to declare a two-dimensional array. Int table of rows, columns. Or you can write like this: type space the table name in brackets, square brackets. It is called square brackets. This is called square brackets. This is called curly brackets, angle brackets. Normal bracket is this one. Square brackets, curly brackets, angle brackets, the regular bracket. Note down the example also. Make it fast. Make it fast. Syntax and example. Same initialization. For example, int table of 3 by 3. 3 rows, 3 columns are there. Right? 3 by 3 means total 9 elements. Right? 3 rows, 3 columns. 3 into 3, that is total 9 elements. For example, 4 by 4. 4 rows, 4 columns are there. 4 into 4, 16. Total 16 elements. Int table of 3 by 3. Some values, enter some values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Between curly brackets. Between curly brackets, right? And at the end, semicolon. Finish? Completed? Note down only the underlined ones. Don't write all content. Finish? Inputting and outputting as usual. How to store the values, how to display the values. Okay, don't make noise. What happened? Already? That is one dimensional. Make it fast. For two-dimensional array, how to store the values and how to retrieve the values. జూమ్ ఎక్కువ వస్తున్నట్టుంది కదా, కంటెంట్ మిస్ అవుతుంది. కింద ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కట్ అయింది, స్లైడ్ జూమ్ ఎక్కువ ఉన్నట్టుంది. కింద డేటా కట్ అయింది అంటున్నాను. కింద డేటా కట్ అయింది కాదు, లేదు, అదే జూమ్ ఎక్కువ ఉంది. జస్ట్ వెయిట్ ఎ సెకండ్, వెయిట్ అది మళ్ళీ క్లోజ్ చేసి ఓపెన్ చేస్తా చూడు. ఎండ్ అని చెప్పు, ఎండ్ స్లైడ్, ఎండ్ షో. కిందికి పోయింది అది. ఇట్లా వస్తుందా? ఇట్లా కనిపించదు కదా, నిన్న కరెక్టే వచ్చింది. జూమ్ కట్ అవుతుంది. ఎట్లా? హౌ? మరి మిగతా అన్ని కట్ అవుతాయి, ఎట్లా అన్ని స్లైడ్స్ కట్ అవుతాయి? అన్ని కిందికి పోతుంది. అదొకటే పోయిందా? నెక్స్ట్ చూడు. ఓకే, అన్ని కరెక్ట్ వస్తున్నాయి, అదొకటే మిస్ అయింది కదా. ఓకే, జూమ్ చేస్తాను. ఓకే, లిసన్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్, ఇన్పుటింగ్ వాల్యూస్. అరే 2 డైమెన్షనల్ అరేలో వాల్యూస్ ఎలా స్టోర్ చేయాలి? జూమ్లో అది మిస్ అవుతుంది మేడం, డేటా కిందికి పోతుంది, అందుకే రావట్లేదా? ఐ థింక్ డేటా ఇస్ మిస్సింగ్. Okay, don't waste time, make it fast. Inputting values. 2 డైమెన్షనల్ అరేలో వాల్యూస్ ఎలా స్టోర్ చేయాలి? ఓకే, ప్లీజ్ డోంట్ వేస్ట్ టైం. We need to complete some topics that will be useful for you only. How to store the values in a 2 dimensional array. Inputting values. And remember this simple logic, 1 dimensional array ki ఒకటే ఫర్ లూప్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, రైట్? 1 dimensional array 1 for loop, 2 dimensional arrays 2 for loops. Simple logic, no need to by heart, remember this one. Okay, 1 dimensional array 1 for loop, 2 dimensional array 2 for loops, 3 dimensional array 3 for loops. Finish, learn, అన్నీ వచ్చేస్తాయి. కదా, సింపుల్, దానికి బైహార్ట్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఫర్ స్టోరింగ్ అండ్ రిట్రీవింగ్, ఇన్పుట్ 2 for loops, output 2 for loops, 3 for loops, output 3 for loops. Combination 2 for loops, scanf statement, 2 for loops, printf statement. Processing 2 for loops, processing statement. Kada logic, simple logic kada. For one dimensional array, 1 for loop, scanf statement. For processing, 1 for loop, processing statement. For output, 1 for loop, print. Same ade follow avali 2 dimensional ki 3 dimensional ki. For 2 dimensional, 2 for loops, scanf statement. For processing, 2 for loops, processing statement. Output 2 for loops, printf statement. 3 dimensional, 3 for loops, 3 dimensional, 3 for loops, scanf statement. And processing, 3 for loops, processing statement. Output 3 for loops, printf statement. Complete. 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension. Simple. Just note down, make it fast. For I0, row and column. And remember, when we use 2 for loops, the first for loop controls the rows, second for loop controls the columns. That's it. Okay. Okay, maintain silence. Discussion after class. Okay na? Class అయిపోయిన తర్వాత full discuss చేయొచ్చు. Outputting values. For row 0, row less than size, row plus plus, column. And when it comes to printing, okay, please note down, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, అవుట్పుట్ జస్ట్ యాడ్ printf/n. ఇది ఒకటి అడిషనల్గా వస్తుంది, printf/n. Reason, if you don't use printf/n, what will happen is that all the elements will be printed in a single line. మనకు రో వైజ్ ప్రింట్ కావాలి కదా, టేబుల్ ఫార్మాట్, row 1, row 2, row 3 ala. For that reason, we must have a printf/n. /n means new line, /n new line, /t tab spaces. ఈజీ కదా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవడం. 1 dimensional, 2 dimensional, 3 dimensional. 1 for loop, 2 for loop, 3 for loops. And be careful with this one, block open, block closing. That meaning changes. Try in your laboratory. When we place blocks somewhere else, what will happen? Right? Next slide. Next slide. Okay, very important example. Program. Note down. Make it fast. One program. Write a C program. All of you. Make it fast. Please don't waste time. మాట్లాడితే టైం వేస్ట్ అవుతుంది కదా. Let us complete some topics, right? Write a C program that fills left to right diagonal of a square matrix with zeros. Write a C program that fills left to right diagonal with diagonal of a square matrix with zeros, and the lower left triangle with minus ones and upper left triangle with plus ones. Yes, we want to store these values in a table. Write a C program to fill the diagonal with the zeros and lower left triangle with minus 1 and upper left triangle with plus 1. Storing. We want to store the values in this way. How to write a program for this? Note down this table also. The diagonal with zeros. Below the diagonal line minus ones, above the diagonal line plus ones. Finish? Finish? Make it fast. Box draw చేయడం ఎంతసేపు? Just 5 seconds, 10 seconds. The size is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. 6 by 6. The table is 6 by 6 table. First fill the diagonal with zeros. Then lower triangle minus 1, upper triangle plus 1. First fill the diagonal with zeros. 6 by 6 table. Finish? So, what about the zeros, diagonals? Just we need to find the logic for this. How to store zeros, how to store ones, what is the logic to store zeros, what is the logic to store minus 1, what is the logic to store plus 1. Three conditions. Okay, first we'll see this 0 for example. What are the values of rows and columns? 0 row and 0 column. 0 comma 0. Row and column. And what about this for example? 2 second row, second column. Next, any randomly, just randomly I am selecting. fourth row, fourth column. Then what we can understand from this logic? What we can understanding? So where we need to store the zeros? Row value, column value both are same. That means the condition is that row equals to column. If row equals to column, store the value 0. Right? Then what about the remaining? Regarding minus 1. Regarding minus 1. What are the values for this minus 1? Row value 1, column value 1, column 0. For example, this one, third row, first column, 3, 1. Or for example, this one, fourth row, third column. Or for example, this one, 5 and 2. 5 and 2, for example. Okay. From this pattern, what we can understand? Row value always greater than column value. Row value always greater than column value. So what is that condition? If row greater than column, if row greater than column, then store the value, assign the value minus 1. Right? Then what about this remaining? Else condition. Opposite, that is row is less than column. And then for example, this one came row value 0, column value 4. Or for example, this one, row value 2 and column value 3. Or for example, this one, row value 3, column value 5. Or for example, this one, 1, 5. So what we can understand from this pattern? Row is always less than column. So what is that condition? If row is less than column, assign +1 to that particular value. That's it. Finish. Note down. Make it fast. Program. What happened? You can write int. Program, not example. For the same previous concept. Make it fast. Just 1 minute time, 2 minutes. Int table of 6 by 6. I will dictate. No. The remaining are common, right? Int hash include stdio.h, int main void, and return 0 statements, bracket open, bracket close, all are known to us for every program. Zoom in రావట్లేదు. int table of నేను డిక్టేట్ చేస్తాను ఐడియా కోసం. int table of 6 by 6. ఇది చూసి రాయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు కదా, ఆల్రెడీ మనకు తెలిసిందే కదా. ఇన్పుటింగ్ వాల్యూస్, అవుట్పుటింగ్ వాల్యూస్ కదా. ఇన్పుటింగ్ 2 for loops, scanf statement, assignment 2 for loops, assignment statement, అవుట్పుటింగ్ 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ ప్రింట్ఎఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్. చూడాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, కండిషన్స్ మనకు తెలుసు. ఇఫ్ రో ఈక్వల్ టు కాలం అసైన్ 0, ఇఫ్ రో లెస్ గ్రేటర్ దాన్ కాలం అసైన్ -1, ఎల్స్ +1. ఆ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ అన్నీ మీకు తెలుసు, చూడాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు ప్రోగ్రామ్. 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ కదా, సేమ్ ఫర్ లూప్స్ రో కాలం ద కండిషన్. దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ అసైన్మెంట్ కదా. 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ అసైన్మెంట్. నెక్స్ట్ 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ ప్రింట్ఎఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్. దాంట్లో చూడాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, మనం ఇంత ప్రీవియస్ రాసిన కదా, ఇన్పుటింగ్ అవుట్పుటింగ్. అంతేనా? అంతే కదా, కన్ఫ్యూజన్ ఏం లేదు కదా. జస్ట్ 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ స్టేట్మెంట్, 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ ప్రింట్ఎఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్. ప్రాసెసింగ్లో జస్ట్ అసైన్మెంట్, కండిషన్ అసైన్మెంట్. ఇఫ్ రో ఈక్వల్స్ టు కాలం 0 ఈజ్ అసైన్ టు టేబుల్ ఆఫ్ రోస్ కాలమ్స్. బాక్స్ డ్రా చేస్తారా? మొత్తం రాయండి. ఆ లాజిక్ కోసం బాక్స్ డ్రా చేసిన, మెయిన్ లాజిక్ అని బాక్స్ డ్రా చేసిన. చూడకుండా రాయండి. ఇప్పుడు ఇంతసేపు చెప్పింది అదే కదా. 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ ప్రాసెసింగ్, 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ ప్రింట్ఎఫ్, 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ స్కాన్ఎఫ్. ఓకే, మెయింటైన్ సైలెన్స్, నో డిస్కషన్. ఆ లాజిక్ ఓన్గా రాయండి. ఇఫ్ రో ఈక్వల్స్ టు కాలం 0 ఈజ్ అసైన్ టు టేబుల్ ఆఫ్ రో కాలం. ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ ఇఫ్ row greater than column -1 is assigned, else 1 +1. దాంట్లో గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సింది ఏం లేదు కదా. లాస్ట్లో ప్రాసెసింగ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ మీరే 2 ఫర్ లూప్స్ ప్రింట్ఎఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్, ప్రింట్ఎఫ్ టేబుల్ ఆఫ్ రో కాలం, క్లోజ్ ది బ్రాకెట్, ప్రింట్ఎఫ్ /n. డోంట్ ఫర్గెట్ టు ప్లేస్, మర్చిపోకండి లాస్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఏంటది ప్రింటింగ్లో, యూస్ printf /n so that the values will be printed rows wise. Otherwise all elements will be printed in a single line. అదే కదా 2 for loops processing statement, 2 for loops printf statement. Next one, multi-dimensional array. Okay, maintain silence, right? So we'll be completing. ఫాస్ట్గా కంప్లీట్ చేసేసుకోవాలి ఏదైనా, ఓకేనా? తర్వాత బ్రేక్ టైంలో మంచిగా మాట్లాడుకోవచ్చు. Multi-dimensional. Multi means starting 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. this array topic will be completed. Arrays, right? Array definition, initialization, storing the values, okay, and processing and outputting, inputting, outputting. Same, one dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional, same procedure, right? No need to by heart. For one dimension, one no, one for loop. For two dimensions, two for loops. For three dimensions, three for loops. That's it. For all, scanf, processing statement, printf statement. Scanf, processing, printf. For all loops. That's it. That is arrays. The basic concepts of arrays. What are the previous example is there? That is minus 1, zeros and 1 filling. You try with some other numbers on your own. Create some new table with some different values. Then how to store those values? Think about that. And remember, when it comes to 3 dimension, in 2 dimension, first dimension is row, second dimension is column. In 3 dimension, first dimension is called planes, P-L-A-N-E, plane. First dimension plane, second dimension row, third dimension column. The best example for 3 dimension is cubes kada. Cubes are for each plane. Each plane, how many rows and columns are there? Into table, in brackets, planes, rows, columns. 3, 4, 5, any value. Three, 5, 4 means 3 planes. For each plane, 5 rows, columns are there. For plane 1, 5 rows, 4 columns for this example. For plane 2, 5 rows, 4 columns. For plane 3, 5 rows, 4 columns. How to understand this one? 3 planes means for plane 1, 5, 4. For plane 2, 5, 4. For plane 3, 5, 4. Each plane 5 into 4, 20. 20 elements. Plane 1, 20 elements. Plane 2, 20 elements. Plane 3, 20 elements. 60 elements are there. So this is the definition. What is that one? 3-dimensional array. Arrays of arrays. Whereas 2 dimension, array of arrays. 1 dimension, just array. Array of arrays, array of arrays of arrays. S is there. Remember that one. Here there is no S. Right? And the last slide of this array. Note on the diagram. Make it fast. Don't make noise, make it fast. We'll move to strings topic. first plane, its name is first dimension, second dimension rows, third dimension columns. How to understand? For each plane, right? For each plane, 5 rows, 4 columns will be there. Plane 1, 5, 4, plane 2, 5, 4, plane 3, 5, 4. Finish? Okay, next one, introduction to strings. Next heading, మీరు ఇలా మాట్లాడితే మనం టైం 12:30 అవుతుంది మరి కదా. Let us finish, complete these topics. Please don't waste time. Right? Maintain silence, all of you. Make it fast. Introduction to strings. What is the definition of a string? String. Character and string. Character, individual character. When can we say string? Group of characters. Group of characters treated as string. Okay, don't discuss, just note down, listen and note down. Please, don't waste time. మళ్ళీ మనకే టైం దాటుతుంది, ఇంకా 12:30 అవుతుంది ఇట్లా మీరు వేస్ట్ చేస్తే. Let us try to complete. A string is a series of characters treated as a single unit. When combining characters and treat it as a single unit, it is called as a string. And some idea about string. How to understand string? String, fixed length, variable length. Draw the diagram also. String, fixed length, variable length. Again in length controlled. Length controlled and delimited. Length controlled, delimited. C uses delimited. Okay, no discussion. ఈ లైట్స్ ఆఫ్ చేయకపోయాను, ఈ లైట్స్ starting lights. I will read out. String, fixed length, variable length. Again under this variable length, length controlled, delimited, 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 just which is of C strings, C language. Finish. Just put heading and draw the diagram. Don't write the content. Length controlled. Length controlled strings, as the name suggests. మనం లెంత్ మెన్షన్ చేసి కంట్రోల్ చేస్తాం. ఓన్లీ దీస్ మెనీ క్యారెక్టర్స్, ఓన్లీ ఇన్ని క్యారెక్టర్స్ మాత్రమే స్టోర్ చేస్తామని ముందే చెప్తాం. Length control string. For example, at the starting we have 9 is there. 9. That means the maximum characters we can use is that only 9s. 9. 10th with character will not be accepted. Shh. Silence. In the beginning itself we are providing some value. 9 means only 9 characters will be accepted. 10th will not be accepted. Maximum 9th one. In first chapter, null character, NULL. Okay, when we place the null character at the end of the string, then it is recognized as a string. Otherwise, if there is no null character, it will not be treated as a string. Individual characters, separate characters, all are separate characters. No null character, no string. And one point, in C language there is no string type, right? String type unda ledu. So we will take the help of the existing data structure. That is, we have the character type and we'll take the help of arrays to store all those characters. And then we'll make it as a string. There is no string type in C. So the solution is that we'll take the help of character data type. Character data type to store the character. Where to store? We'll take the help of arrays. Okay, all the characters will be stored on an array and we will place null character at the end. Then it becomes string. When we place the null character, then it becomes the string, right? If there is no null character, it is not a string. It is not a string. Note down some examples. Make it fast. In C, a string is stored in an array of characters and it is terminated by a null character /0, combination of /0. We all know that it is called as null character. For example, hello. Note down these also. HELLO and at the end /0. ఓకేనా, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. నల్ క్యారెక్టర్ లేదు అంటే స్ట్రింగ్ కాదు అని అర్థం. చివర్లో నల్ క్యారెక్టర్ ఉండాలి. Then it will be treated as a string. Note down other examples also. What is this first one? What is this first one? H is there between single quotes. When we use single quote, it is treated as a character. Okay na? Single quotes ఉందనుకోండి, అది మనం క్యారెక్టర్గా ట్రీట్ చేస్తాము. When we use double quotes, H is there, for example, single quoted H is there, it is a character. Double quote H is there, it is treated as string. That's it. Single quote, character, double quotes, string. And for example, here nothing is there, only null string is there. Only null string is there. Then it is called as empty string. Empty string means just double quotes, set of double quotes, nothing is there. Character, string, empty string. Here only H is there, H with null string and null character, and only null character. Only null character means empty string. Finish? Easy గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. Single quote character, double quote string. Make it fast. Small example, one line example. Hash include stdio.h int main void. I will write, no problem. Example program. Hash include stdio.h int main void, main block open, just printf statement. మళ్ళీ రాస్తాను ఇక్కడ. Only one statement, printf statement. Printf in double quotes %c, in double quotes hello of 1. Here 1 means index, not the size. Starting lo use chestamante, that is size. Migitha vere place lo ekkada use chesina, it is index. Okay na? Manam declaration lo use chestamante, that is size of the array. మళ్ళీ వేరే చోట ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేసినా అది ఇండెక్స్ అని తీసుకోవాలి. హెల్లో ఆఫ్ బ్రాకెట్లో 1 ఉంది. హౌ దిస్ ఈజ్ స్టోర్డ్? ఓకే, లైక్ దిస్ HELLO నల్ క్యారెక్టర్. హెల్లో ఆఫ్ 0 దట్ ఈస్ H. హెల్లో ఆఫ్ 1 అంటే దట్ ఈస్ అవుట్పుట్ ఈస్ E. Output is E. Index 1 means second character. Index 0 means first character. Just one line example. Printf %c. You give some strings with an array index. Hello of 1, hello of 2, hello of 3. And remember, space will also be counted if more than 2 strings are there. More than 1 is there. 2 strings with spaces are there. Space will also be counted. The output is E, right? Hello of 0 is H. Hello of 1, that is E. Next LLO. Declaring a string. How to declare the string? C has no string type to declare a string. Therefore, we must use one of the other available structures. Since strings are a sequence of characters, it is only natural that the structure used to store string variables is the character array. String type లేదు కదా, ఎలా యూజ్ చేయాలి స్ట్రింగ్స్ అంటే జస్ట్ క్యారెక్టర్ డేటా టైప్ యూజ్ చేయాలి, అరేస్లో స్టోర్ చేయాలి, నల్ క్యారెక్టర్ యూజ్ చేయాలి ఎట్ ది ఎండ్, ఫినిష్, ఇట్ బికమ్ స్ట్రింగ్ కదా. స్ట్రింగ్ టైప్ లేదు సిలో. మనము క్యారెక్టర్ డేటా టైప్ హెల్ప్ తీసుకొని క్యారెక్టర్స్ అన్నీ అరేలో స్టోర్ చేసేసుకొని లాస్ట్లో నల్ క్యారెక్టర్ ఇన్సర్ట్ చేసేసారు. then it becomes string. char space str of 9. ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్లో స్పేసెస్ ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేయకండి, ఓకేనా. ఇఫ్ వన్ స్పేస్ ఇస్ దేర్, ఇక్కడ చూడడానికి ఇక్కడ స్పేస్ ఉంది, యాక్చువల్ స్పేస్ ఉంది, డోంట్ గివ్ స్పేసెస్. char space str of 9. In this way that string is stored. For example, it acts as a pointer, like a pointer. str is pointing to those locations, అందుకే arrow డ్రా చేసాం చూడండి. str is the name of the string కదా, name of the string, its type is character and array with size 9. and remember we must have a location for null character also. null character కూడా ప్లేస్ ఉండాలి స్టోర్ చేయడానికి, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. null character లేదు అంటే స్ట్రింగ్ కాదు అని అర్థం, తెలుసు కదా. జస్ట్ ఇదొకటి సరిపోతుంది, అయిపోయిందా. syntax is always important, right? Because machine follows syntax, machine follows procedure, not our own procedure. Machine understands procedure, machine follows procedure, machine follows instruction, not human being. Machine doesn't follow human being, correct na? Initialize. How to initialize a string? Okay, maintain silence, don't make noise. మనకే ఇలా టైం ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది ఇంకా. let us complete, right? we have a task, job to complete. char str of 9, space will also be counted, right? To store good day, have a good day, we used to say, right? 1 2 3 4, space also counted, 5 6 7 8, total 8 characters are there. For null character we need another one, so that's why 8 plus 1 9. and see two differences are there. First one is here size is mentioned, here there is no size. This is fixed length, this is variable length. It can accept any number of characters kada. ఇక్కడ సైజ్ మెన్షన్ చేసాము array size, ఇక్కడ array size మెన్షన్ చేయలేదు. The first one is fixed length, second one is variable, vary, change. అదే కదా వేరియబుల్ అని ఎందుకు అన్నాము, vary, vary, vary యూజ్ వర్డ్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం కదా. vary means change, it can change. That's why variable can be modified, but whereas constant cannot be modified. వేరియబుల్ చేంజ్ అవుతుంది వాల్యూ, కాన్స్టెంట్ వాల్యూ చేంజ్ అవుతుంది, ఒకటే వాల్యూ ఉంటుంది. we cannot change. If I want to store good day, for example, 4 plus 3 7 and space is 8, for null character 9, total 9 spaces required. ల్యాబ్లో ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఒకసారి చూడండి. హియర్ వీ హ్యావ్ యూస్ డబుల్ కోట్స్, యూ ట్రై విత్ సింగిల్ కోట్, వాట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్ అంతేనా. ట్రై దిస్, ది కంటెంట్ ఈస్ ప్లేస్ బిట్వీన్ టూ డబుల్ కోట్స్, సెట్ ఆఫ్ డబుల్ కోట్స్. ఇన్ ల్యాబొరేటరీ యూ ట్రై విత్ సింగిల్ కోట్, వాట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్. అలాగే నేర్చుకుంటాం మనం ఎలా వర్క్ అవుతుంది, ఏం జరుగుతుంది అనేది. ఫినిష్. String IO functions, input output operations related to strings. Make it fast. Okay, maintain silence. అవసరం లేదు, జస్ట్ పుట్ హెడింగ్. ఏదైతే అండర్లైన్ చేశానో అదే రాయండి, డోంట్ రైట్ ద రిమైనింగ్ కంటెంట్. డిస్కషన్ తర్వాత. ఓకే, బ్రేక్ టైం, చాలా టైం ఉంటుంది మనకు. లంచ్ బ్రేక్ ఈవినింగ్ 4 or 5 తర్వాత. String IO operations, how to perform input output operations with respect to strings. The first one, line to string is there. Line means that is from keyboard, how to read the values from the keyboard and store it as a string. For that, standard functions are there. GetS, fgetS, getS without spaces, fgetS. Whenever we see F, that means files. F for file, files. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. ఎఫ్ ఎక్కడైనా వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, మీనింగ్ ఏంటి, ఫైల్స్ అన్నట్టు. ఎఫ్ ఫర్ ఫైల్స్, రీడింగ్ డేటా ఫ్రమ్ ఏ ఫైల్ ఆర్ స్టోరింగ్ డేటా ఆన్ టు ఏ ఫైల్. These are the syntax. Char star getS, char star of string pointer, fgetS, string pointer size file star sp. Note as it is. These topics are exam lo adugutaru. String IO functions, discuss about string IO topics untai, 2 compulsory. getters, fgetters, two functions, predefined functions. C provides those functions. Finish? Just 2 lines and syntax. Make it fast. Okay, this is the diagram. Please don't draw. Just try to understand, right? We'll read from the keyboard. Okay. And what are the characters we type? That is processed by getters function. Okay. What are the characters we type from the keyboard is there? That is processed by getters function, and it is stored in memory. Right? That is stored in memory. The second one, that is fgetters. There we can include files also. Combination of file or keyboard. Okay? Reading the characters from the file or reading the characters from the keyboard. Keyboard to the standard function, fgetters function. Fgetters function will process that one and store in this one format. A small example, 3-4 lines. Make it fast. Demonstrate the use of fgetters. Just note only the 4 statements. Just heading, demonstrate the use of fgetters function. Shh, okay, don't talk. మనం టైం వేస్ట్ చేస్తే ఇంకా ముందుకు వెళ్తాం. ఓకే, దట్స్ వై ప్లీజ్ డోంట్ వేస్ట్. లెట్ us complete. Don't write all the statements, just whatever I have picked, tick చేసిన రాయండి అంతే. మిగతా మనకు తెలిసినవి కదా. hash include stdio.h, int main void, main block open, close the main block, return 0, అవన్నీ మనకు తెలిసినవి. just char of str of 81, printf, please enter a string. printf, please enter a string, colon. Then fgetters function. fgetters, don't give spaces please. ekkada space ivakandi. ikkada space kanipistundi. Don't give spaces. fgetters bracket open str comma size of str. Don't give space here. str comma size of str comma stdin, standard input. That is stdin is a standard function, predefined. stdin, that is standard input device. In C language, standard input device is keyboard. stdout ఇంకోటి ఉంటుంది. ఏంటది? stdin, stdout అని ఉంటుంది. stdin standard input device, stdout standard output device. Standard input device is keyboard, standard output device is monitor. str, size of str, stdin. Then printf. printf, here is your string, percentage s str, close. Output em రాయకండి. You check this output in your laboratory, in your laptop. Okay? Just only 4 lines. Next one, string to maintain silence. మనం మాట్లాడితే టైం అలా ముందుకు పోతుంటుంది. ఓకే, ప్లీజ్ డోంట్ వేస్ట్. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, స్ట్రింగ్లో 2 టాపిక్స్ దిస్ టాపిక్ అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్. 2 కంపల్సరీ క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తాయి. స్ట్రింగ్ అంటేనే 2 టాపిక్స్ అంతే. మీరేం డ్రా చేయకండి. Just purpose of those standard functions and syntax. Puts, f puts, int puts, that means the puts function's return type is integer n. Int puts const space char star space strptr. Next f puts, please don't use spaces, space ఇవ్వకండి. const char star strptr file star sp. that previous diagram ki reverse diagram చూడండి. memory, the string is already stored in memory, reverse చూడండి. okay, just we are reading from memory to with the help of puts function, and we are displaying on a monitor, memory to monitor. The string is already stored in a memory, right? Memory to puts function will process it and display it on monitor. The same thing, memory to f puts to file, this is a file. మరి నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, మ్యానిపులేషన్. వేరే క్లాస్ ఏముంది? 1కి కాదు, ఇప్పుడే రారు కదా, 1:30కి వస్తాం జనరల్గా. ఒక 15 minutes కుదరదా? Okay, note down the program. Okay, please maintain silence. మనకు కంప్లీట్ అయిపోతే బాగుంటుంది కదా అని కదా, మళ్ళీ పెండింగ్. జస్ట్ టిక్ చేసిన రాయండి. త్వరగా, make it fast. Demonstrate f puts function. Just write only 5 lines, the remaining are common. Okay, త్వరగా. Just definition syntax, right? Let us complete. String contains only 2 topics. This one, string IO functions, string manipulation. Those 2 are compulsory questions. Char str of some string, char star pstr of